I will start by saying that our hearts go out to the family, friends, and the entire community affected by this tragedy. Incidents like this are extremely rare for Hutto, but when they do happen, we come together to support one another and to help those impacted through these difficult times. This morning, Hutto police officers responded to a call from an individual stating that he had killed 2 people in the home and was going to commit suicide. An incident command post was established nearby to coordinate resources with the Hutto Fire Department, Emergency Management, the Williamson County Sheriff's Department, Precinct 4 Constable's Office, Hutto ISD, EMS, and law enforcement partners to ensure a swift and organized response. Officers arrived at the residence and initiated a verbal conversation with the individual through the door and were actively attempting to gain constructive dialogue when they heard a single gunshot from inside the home. Officers immediately made entry into the residence to discover 3 deceased adults, including the suspect. There is no danger to the public related to this incident. Our Criminal Investigations Division, Crime Scene Unit, and Hutto Fire Department will remain on site processing evidence and working to determine the full circumstances surrounding this incident. This is a devastating situation, and we understand the impact that it has on our community. We're committed to a thorough investigation and will provide updates as they become available. We encourage anyone with any information to contact the Hutto Police Department, and we appreciate our community's patience and continued support as we work through this tragedy. Now, I will take questions at this time, but please keep in mind that this is an active investigation, so I will only share what I can and that which is factual.
What is the relationship between the 3?
That information has not been verified at this point, but it's a part of the investigation, and we will provide that as the investigation progresses and we have that actual information.
Are they family members, all 3?
That is unknown at this time.
Have you been called to that home before for other situations? Is it known to police at all, do you know?
We've got a call history that is very minor for incidents at that home, medical related, but nothing alarming that's connected to, that would give an indicator that we would have something like this in the future.
Are the 2 deceased adults, do we know male, female, ages?
We don't have the age information verified, but we do know that we have 1 male and 2 female victims.
When y'all received that call, what was the response? Was it a heavy response or just 1 unit going out, or was it multiple?
When you have a priority 1 call like that, we send multiple law enforcement officers. And in addition, with the information that was being provided, we also have a special response team, a SWAT team that most people call it. And they were preparing to go and provide support and resources as well. We also, when officers arrived on the scene, we sought resources from crisis negotiators in the event that we needed to utilize that support for that incident. But tragically, it escalated prior to all those resources arriving on the scene.
We saw family or friends arriving after the fact. Are there any sort of victim services available through the Hutto Police Department for people that may be at the scene right now?
Yes, sir. You know, it's unfortunate that we have to have a victim services coordinator, but we have a victim services coordinator and we have a victim services advocate for the Hutto Police Department, and they will be providing support and wraparound services to the families so that we can help them through this tragedy.
Can you tell us anything more about that phone call that came in to you all?
I don't have the specific details other than the individual called and said that he had killed 2 people in the home and he was going to commit suicide.
And you talk about this is something that doesn't really happen in Hutto a lot. How do you kind of prepare officers for kind of coming to scenes like this?
Although we don't have real world situations like this, we train with scenario-based events and actions, and we debrief on many of those things, and we break those scenarios down. So our officers are training weekly. Our special response team is training weekly. Our patrol officers are trained in de-escalation. They're trained in active shooter events. They're trained in a variety of areas of expertise that provide them the bandwidth and the competence to go and make sure that they're safely responding and trying to mitigate any potential tragedy.
Was there anyone else in the house besides the 3 deceased?
There is no indication at this time that there was anyone beyond the 3 in the home.
We did see some damage to the garage. Do we know if that's part of your investigation?
Yes, ma'am, that is a part of our investigation. In fact, we have our crime scene unit and our criminal investigation division. We got the fire department there looking into any and every possible stone that needs to be turned in the abundance of caution.
Yeah, we saw 8 FDs kind of staging there still. We still have a lot of crime scene investigators on scene. This investigation does take a long time. It's probably gonna be a little bit while before we get a little bit more details, right?
Yes, sir. And we're not in the business of rushing an investigation because we want to make sure that we're providing factual and thorough information related to the incident so that the public is aware. We're about transparency. We want people to know what we can tell them, and we want to reassure the public, since we are telling the public we had this tragedy, we also want them to know that there is no danger related to this incident to our public.
Okay, we're gonna take our final question. Cool. Does Hutto have a crisis intervention team that helps with mental health related scenarios?
Yes, ma'am, we do. We have a crisis support specialist, and we have another crisis support staff member who recently joined our department, and they stay very connected to our community, providing that ongoing support to those in need and the wraparound services to those individuals and the families when they're experiencing crisis. They have done a tremendous job, and we're excited and thankful to have them providing that support in our community. And that's one of the reasons why we want people to, if you have concerns with family members or neighbors, to report that information to us so we can provide those support services and resources to help those going through a crisis so that they're not going through it alone.
Quick follow-up to that. Did you all, I know it's early in the investigation, but did you get any questions or any comments from neighbors in the short time that you've been there about concerns that they had or things that they had seen?
We don't have any information related to that at this point. The investigation may provide additional information, but at this point we don't have anything related to that. Okay, thank you all so much. Really appreciate you.